toe wasted, every beat sound amazing. Took me back to the basement, off my chest had to say it. Where's the medicine? I'm losing my patience, trying to hold it together with gorilla glue. Speak up, I'm still not hearing you. Always mumbling shit, I need a clear picture. Designer drew me a yacht when I had flashed the Uzi. Every time I'm in the streets, it's like we shooting movies. Every time she come over, she wanna shoot a movie. Ain't nothing to it, cameras rolling, she know what she doing. The bonus footage had me thinking that I'm Mr. Marcus. Left the building, Dave East was the theme music. Golden era rebooted, East Coast street music. I'm from them same dark streets, just a different part. Smoke ganja and sip fire till we expire. I'm rewired with live wires you admire. No back talk with the asphalt when you get bought.
There you go, that's Pedro with a caseload. Champagne fiend, you gotta see him on that ace though. Same rapper that be saying ring, drinking pink, changing lanes, occasionally bang the gang, but no tango. Aim for the Pringles, son, watch one pop, you won't stop. Them chips will turn you out, yeah. It's not a game, I'm from Philly. Go by the name Chrissy, get busy. Put plenty wet rappers in cemeteries. Probably ain't gotta go ring, but that's my thing, no. Shame on that nigga who try to run game on that nigga, yeah. You know I'm just a young fly bastard. Ratchet stash of the crack master, laughing faggot ass rappers, no matter the status.
Short of a false start and a few disappointments, a couple setbacks. Woo, now I'm been anointed. I got my hands in everything, bro. I'm double jointed, cause the only thing worse than death is unemployment. These weapons of mass destruction is gad I'm clutching. Niggas feel some type of way, all these rags I'm touching. Fuck the penitentiary, I won't go back for nothing. And be it day one, niggas never ask for nothing. It feels good when they see you get a bag for something and sit back and reminisce when the track was jumping. I ask myself, did I do something wrong? Well, if I did, is it worth me doing a bit? Well, can I live? Yo, we did it big and got indicted. Free Smiths, that's just what it is. I wish I had more than give us kids, and we joking kid. But if it's beef, we blow the lid. I was this close to almost catching one to the wig.
7 days a week. Here's something you never witnessed until now. Sunwun. I done heard it all, stop talking to me. Never was I scared of they ghost stories. I was in the hood drinking warm 40s, smoking old weed out of broke Phillies. Summertime chilly down in North Philly. Nigga got shot walking out his building. On the way to school picking up his children. On his birthday, right around Christmas. Damn, I see the big picture. Damn, through my new lenses. Fendi put them out for like $850. The chain on my neck look like an ice sculpture. Your girl looking at me trying to take a portrait. Your man on my dick asking where I bought it. We all know nigga can't afford it. King talk, nigga, run the jewels up. 12 bricks in the suitcase. 40 bands in the shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just tryna see who come first. Trunk full of drugs. That's what you want, right? Money in the bag. That's what you want, right? Girls going by. That's what you want, right? That's what you want, right? That's what you want, right? Hit the booth, killer might run the jewels up. I'm still drinking marijuana stinking. Back in the city, this time to Ben Franklin. Damn, wrong Ezek, now it's Ty Coney. A day news, shoot another movie. Cinematic shit, keep the camera rolling. 97,000 for the wardrobe. The lawn out front is a car show. New kitchen on the first and second floor. Skylight for when your bitch wanna see the stars. I know, niggas ain't fucking with me. I know, niggas don't fuck with me. You know, I gotta keep the thing with me. They know, I'm still with whatever, nigga. 12 bricks in the suitcase. 40 bands in the shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just tryna see who come first. Trunk full of drugs. Money in the bag. Girls going by. 12 bricks in the suitcase. 40 bands in the shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just tryna see who come first. Trunk full of drugs. Money in the bag. Girls going by. That's what you want, right? That's what you want, right? That's what you want, that's what you want, right? I wore Gucci in December, Louis in September, Fendi in the summer. I'ma kill him next winter on some king shit. I'm on the throne with my empress, laughing at the hoes from before who lost interest. We in the truck for the winter, the drop in the summer, coupe for the spring, time to shoot another movie. Put my team in the credits was the only way to do it. Showing love to who love you back, that's what we doing. Getting bigger while I'm lifting, sharper every minute. Teaching on the corners almost had me in the district, making kings out of niggas and queens out of bitches. See me change the narrative by painting a different picture. Leonardo, Donatello, keep it cool like Da Vinci. I'm so focused on my mission, never caught on being trendy. No, I'm not a drug dealer, it's a God in the mirror. I'm so royal, take a look at them niggas, they can't compare us.
We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Marijuana and a hookah, Pornhub on a computer. EXO was the hand, he made a fortune out in Paris. Them niggas still embarrassed, my jewelry 30 carats. Them suckers is geriatric, don't trust them, I carry ratchets. My numbers is always adding, been great with my mathematics. You Barbies is so plastic, my women is all natural. How many times I told them, gotta text photo. So many fell in line, I overdid the quota. My weed from overseas, it got a different odor. The car from overseas, it got a different motor. Shorty took a knee, she tryna keep me over. Turned a quick visit to a sleepover. Turned a couple quarters to a pretty fortune. Turned a Ford Explorer to a Range Rover. Now it's good time smoking Jimmy Walker. I bought a new chrome, I call it James
We was
Evans.
smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse.
Glockaware exclusive. Run that shit back. Glockaware exclusive. Run that shit back.
Be young.
I wore Gucci in December, Louis in September, Fendi in the summer. I'ma kill him next winter on some king shit. I'm on the throne with my empress, laughing at the hoes from before who lost interest. We in the truck for the winter, the drop in the summer, coupe for the spring, time to shoot another movie. Put my team in the credits was the only way to do it. Showing love to who love you back, that's what we doing. Getting bigger while I'm lifting, sharper every minute. Teaching on the corners almost had me in the district, making kings out of niggas and queens out of bitches. See me change the narrative by painting a different picture. Leonardo, Donatello, keep it cool like Da Vinci. I'm so focused on my mission, never caught on being trendy. No, I'm not a drug dealer, it's a God in the mirror. I'm so royal, take a look at them niggas, they can't compare us.
We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Marijuana and a hookah, Pornhub on a computer. EXO was the hand, he made a fortune out in Paris. Them niggas still embarrassed, my jewelry 30 carats. Them suckers is geriatric, don't trust them, I carry ratchets. My numbers is always adding, been great with my mathematics. You Barbies is so plastic, my women is all natural. How many times I told them, gotta text photo. So many fell in line, I overdid the quota. My weed from overseas, it got a different odor. The car from overseas, it got a different motor. Shorty took a knee, she tryna keep me over. Turned a quick visit to a sleepover. Turned a couple quarters to a pretty fortune. Turned a Ford Explorer to a Range Rover. Now it's good time smoking Jimmy Walker. I bought a new chrome, I call it James Evans.
Smoking and I hooped it. Dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking and I hooped it. Dollar for Toulouse. Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
We knew that and went back. They wasn't ready for us. We let off just one shot. Let them know I had the cannon on me. Let them know if I show it, I'ma let it off. Ain't no point in talking about it, I'ma let it off. I ain't even playing with it, I'ma need it all. So I grind all day till I came back from a 1-hour visit with my brother in the pen, and he swear he ain't did it. Wrong place with the wrong skin pigment. Paint the picture so vivid when the pace on the visit. Shouldn't talk about the pain you ain't feeling. On the gram and he all in his feelings. Talking about he ain't one of the realest. Yo bro, go home, take care of your children. I'm on the roof where the world look bigger. I'm a king in your eyes, I'm a nigga. Trying to scam on some things cause a hard time living. Pay attention, you can see I'm different. King talk, only talk that I utter. In the storm with no umbrella. Ducking rain, trying to make life better. This off the top, it's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. Straight off top, it's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. It's an open letter. Straight off top, it was an open letter. Straight off top, it was an open letter. Straight off top, open letter. We rollin', we strollin', somewhere down on Tioga. I'm so fresh, oh yes, with no designer on me. Yo, I'm him, yo, no lie. Yo, you should hear my story. Been through that pain for glory. Territory fights was mandatory. We rollin', we strollin', somewhere down on Tioga. I'm so fresh, oh yes, with no designer on me. Yo, I'm him, yo, no lie. Yo, you should hear my story. Been through that pain for glory. Territory fights was mandatory. We focused, you know this. Elevated to a king from a soldier. We smoking, it's potent. Goddamn, I think I'm floating. Yo, roll up, just one more. Matter of fact, 2 more, no, 3 more. From New York to be more. Through North Philly with the detour. One day at a time, gotta make it. Keep it real every day, can't fake it. Nowadays they got too many faces, killing each other all because of self-hatred. Every day ain't getting no better. Same shade, all they know is bad weather. Ducking the rain, trying to make life better. This off the top, it's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. Straight off top, it's just the open letter. It's just the open letter. It's an open letter. Straight off top, it was an open letter. Straight off top, it was an open letter. Straight off top, open letter. We rollin', we strollin', somewhere down on Tioga. I'm so fresh, oh yes, with no designer on me. Yo, I'm him, yo, no lie. Yo, you should hear my story. Been through that pain for glory. Territory fights was mandatory. We rollin', we strollin', somewhere down on Tioga. I'm so fresh, oh yes, with no designer on me. Yo, I'm him, yo, no lie. Yo, you should hear my story. Been through that pain for glory. Territory fights was mandatory. Mandatory. Stepping out the telly, cute queen walking with me. Headed to the city, all my jewelry is pretty. Sunlight shining off the E-Class emblem. Remember the days when it was all so simple. God, he was alive, we used to race in the rental. Right around the time of jiggers, ain't no nigga. Still shed a tear cause I love my nigga. Overseas in the farm, that's American me. I let my hair grow out, I got sick of the fade. Still 7 days a week, we putting on to get paid. Pencil pocket, guess jeans in the hood was the wave. Club fever or the tunnel, 2 for 5 weed bundles. Wall Street A+, where we all used to hustle. Parking lot I got high. 4 ounces in the duffel, had the Mustang coupe. Baby blue with the white roof, and I kept a chrome 25 inside my boot. Made a nigga walk funny, either rumble or shoot. My connect was Jamaican nigga fresh off the boat. And his English kinda shaky, so I'm listening close. And even then we used to argue about who really the GOAT. Fast forward in the future, everything is computers. And I still shoot a nigga if he wanna act stupid. King talk, and I'm still with the dumb shit. I'm still something you never witnessed until now. Everything's watered down, we call for the classic. It's kinda hard now, everything's plastic. Where the love, where the pain, where the bars at? Where the heart, where the heat, where the soul at? Where the soul at? Where the soul at? Where the soul at? Where the heart, where the heat, where the soul at? Everything's watered down, we go for the classics. It's kinda hard now, everything's plastic. Where the love, where the pain, where the bars at?
Where the soul at?
Where the heart, where the heat, where the soul at?
Soul at.
Where the soul at?
Soul at.
Where the soul at? Where the soul at? Where the heart, where the heat, where the soul at?
Hey. What it do, what it do? We live and direct. Once again, we back. It's like these joints keep coming faster and faster. It's like I be excited to bring the jewelry we bring. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once again, you are officially tuned in to the Diamond and Steel. What's that? Hold on. Before I do that.
Oh.
What's going on with the jingles? What is those jingles? That's you, Sadie?
Nah.
What is that? What's going on? Let's get these right. It's something jingling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We totally lit though, man. We officially tuned in to the Diamond and Steel podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host, Rod D Supreme, aka Sunwun, and I got my guy with me, man. This guy right here with me, right?
Right.
It's crazy. He popped up on me. This is my man, Ceteral, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't from it's a lot of people who claim Uptown, right?
Right.
A lot of people, like as far as hip hop, like EA, my man EA, he's a
He's a
notorious
staple.
Uptown.
He's a
of
staple.
Uptown. This guy right here is the fabric of Uptown when you think about Uptown hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my guy. We done toured the country rocking shows together.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
The country, like we was all over the place. This
in
is
the
my
woods.
man. In the
middle
woods.
with
Yeah, all
mountains
kinds
around
of
us.
shit. Yeah, facts. You know what I mean? So this is my man Ceteral right here. He came to join me today. I got a couple other people gonna be joining us throughout the night. And of course, we got plenty of jewelry that we're gonna be dropping throughout the night as well, or else it wouldn't be the Diamond and Steel podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch on some real, like touchy things tonight. You know what I'm saying? But it needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? It's things that we have to bring to the forefront.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? We have to. You know what I mean? You know, everybody's opinion is welcome, how they view it. You know, leave your comments. Have you been doing? Jumping in the DM with your views and topics that y'all like us discuss. I appreciate all that. Keep it coming. You know what I'm saying?
This feels good, man.
I
ain't been behind the mic in a minute. I got a little whistle in here.
I'm glad you made it.
1, 2. Yeah. This feel good. A little more. Give me some Tony Brown. Yeah,
that's lit.
Bass.
There you go. Now I got a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, say you home, right? And somebody come to your house and they just like literally they knock on your door.
Right.
You know, they don't kick the door in. They
But
do
it's
not.
firmly not.
They firmly knock on the door.
All right.
And say, "How you doing? I'm so and so, such and such. I'm a little thirsty. I came a long way. I came a long, long way. I'm a little thirsty. Do you think that, you know, I could come in, you can give me something to drink? You being the nice, kind person that you are, you say absolutely.
Okay.
Come on in, friend. It might sound crazy in today's society, but this person seemed
genuine.
They seem genuine.
Okay.
All right, boom. So you let them on in, and when you let them in, you give them something to drink, and that something to drink turns into, now they're sitting on the couch watching TV with you. It's cool, but you like, wait a minute.
Wait, we at Bill Cosby house?
This is, whatever. Apartment, house, whatever. He's in your space. Your space. It's yours.
All right.
Place you call home.
And he ends up on my couch.
Through conversation, though.
Right.
Not just like he just sat down and invited himself.
Just sat down like,
through
"Say,
conversation, right? He winds up on the couch. Y'all watching a movie now. Kicking it. You know what I mean? Y'all might be passing some libations back and forth. This seems like to be a cool person, right? In the process of y'all watching the movie, he says, "Oh man, it's getting late. It's getting dark. I'm not real familiar with the terrain around here. Would you mind if I stayed the night?"
Don't do it.
I'll be out in the morning, maybe, but do you mind if I stay the night, right?
Don't make me be an A.O.
All right, hear me out, man. Walk with me. I'm going somewhere
All
with
right.
this one.
All right.
I'm going somewhere with this, all right?
So you're saying that in this scenario that it's accepted that he's staying the night?
He's staying the night.
All right, okay.
All right? He got his luggage. He went to the car that broke down in front of your house. He went and got his luggage out the trunk.
So wait, let's stop right there.
All right.
You said he came a long way. Now he said he's thirsty. I'm
Right.
thinking he walked. You mean to tell me this gentleman was driving a car and you're thirsty?
Car, bike, something. He got there. He went out to get his things and he brought them in.
Okay. All right.
All right?
Go ahead.
I just for the sake of the story.
It just sound funny.
All right.
All right, but go ahead.
All right. The next morning, wake up. Now, mind you, the entire time, coolest cat in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Outside of the fact that this motherfucker stumbled in off the street, everything else is solid.
Right.
Of course, it appears to be, right? The next morning, so house away, he convinces you that it's a good idea that he just go ahead and move in. His rest was so well. You know what I'm saying? He rested so well in that guest bedroom you provided for him.
This
that
happened in one night.
One night. He's like, you know what? It's probably a good idea that I stay the night. And when you let him stay the night, that led to, you know what? It's probably a good idea.
This is him saying this.
But he's convincingly convincing you as well. This is just for the sake of the example.
Okay, go
He's
ahead.
convincing you as well that this is a great fucking idea.
Yeah,
That
he stayed.
not only did he stay the night, but that he moves in there.
Moves in.
You can help with the chores around the house. You know what I'm saying? You can help with the bills and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a great idea that he moves in. Saying?
Uh-huh.
One of the best.
Does the dishes and all that. It helps
Everything.
out.
Cleans up after himself. He washes the tub out when he uses it. He's been that guy. He's on time with his part of the bills. Everything, right? You go to work one day, right? You go home and the locks has changed. Let me say that again. All right. Months go by, this motherfucker living with you now, right? You go to work, you come home, the locks are changed. All right? Not only are the locks changed, but you begin to notice that the curtains are different. Looking through the window, like, wait a fucking minute. You start to even question,
Is this my house?
is this even my house? You gotta double check the address now. You bug.
Clearly you're high letting this man stay without
This is
anything.
months later.
It's just clearly you're on something. But
This is
let's
months
go
later.
go ahead.
Locks are changed.
Uh-huh.
It's very convincing.
Okay.
The locks are changed. Now here you are, banging on the door of your own house to get in. Because you hear commotion going on inside. In
Right.
fact, you hear music. You smell fried
There's
chicken.
something going on.
You smell chicken coming through the door. It's activity going on in the house. So somebody's in there. Music's on. Wait a minute. So you bang on the door, right? Mr. Such and Such comes to the door. In your robe. He comes to the door in your robe, right? It says, can I help you?
So this is Billy Ray Valentine
This is
from
a
Trading
fact.
Places.
He comes to your door and he says, can I help you? what's your reaction?
Can you help me?
First of all, the average person would not have allowed it to even have gotten that far. But in the event that you did, and this was the end game, what is your reaction at that point? Because there's a number of things that you could do. One, which is what a lot of people are probably thinking is probably punching him clear in his face, clean in his face. Like,
Right.
what's wrong with you? You're crazy. That's what most people's first option in a situation like that would be, right?
Uh-huh.
Two, you can call the police. This is your house. Whether you own it or renting, it's your home. This is your residence. You have a lease. It's on your goddamn ID. Like, this is where I live at. He's bugging. You could do that, right?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
What am I going to do?
Which one would you do? Which one would you lean more towards it being you?
Be it now, it would lean more towards getting the police.
Okay, to avoid the confrontation.
Right.
To avoid
Because something clearly is
confrontation.
wrong with this
Right,
dude.
exactly. I got you. Nothing wrong with that. All right. The reason y'all may be listening and watching right now, like, what the fuck is the point of this story? What does that have to do with anything? And if you think about it, it's very, very similar to when Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims came over here to North America. It's very similar, right?
Right.
They came over here, and for a long period of time in our history as well, they were trying to teach us that he discovered this shit. We all know the science behind
Right.
that, though that was some bullshit.
Right.
However, he did come over here, and it didn't, of course, go like how the story went, but it was still the same concept in regards to they came over, they befriended the brown man over here, or the Indian, they befriended him, and the Native American, you understand the part me
The
on that?
original.
The original inhabitants of North America,
Right.
they befriended these people, and they began to stay over here. You know what I mean? They stayed. You know what I mean? Where they were amongst them. They were living amongst each other. And you ask yourself, all right, well, how did the transition take place? Because obviously it was a metaphorical house as far as the story of America
Right.
being the house.
Right.
And you're like, all right, so they came over here on a boat. How did that take place as far as them gaining power over these people to the point where now we're sitting in America versus in what it would have manifested to be had it been the Native Americans who progressed with the land. You understand what I'm saying? What took place is the problem. Now, common sense would tell you that it was some type of violence that had to take place. They won't teach you that.
Right.
But through history and understanding history and how history works, we know and understand whenever land was taken, it was violence.
Yeah. The very essence of the word taken.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, whether and it could have been in some instances mental violence, meaning trickery. It was a little bit of that as well. That's a part of the violence as well.
Yeah.
You
Well, it was
understand what I'm saying?
trickery. It was trickery in the sense that they thought they was trading with them in good faith. So the
Understood.
trickery and you know what I mean? That was one of the first things we started learning about. Like, wait a minute, how did they even get this land, like, from them? And then you found those stories like, yeah, well, they was trading, and then they gave them smallpox in the blanket. So you know there was some kind of barter and trading for help or something.
Right.
And they befriended them and poisoned them and killed them off. Like,
Killed them off. Now, in the idea of the story that I told with the person moving in the house and taking your house over when you was at work, and I asked you what would you lean more towards as far as resolution of that situation, and your option was to call the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that is because there are laws in place now to prevent shit like that from happening.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? Where was the law, or what was the law that was established to give these people back at that time ownership of this land? Are you aware of what that law was?
No, I don't.
The law I'm speaking of is the manifest destiny. And what manifest destiny is, it's a written law that, in layman's terms, basically says that God ordained this land for us. And this is the reason why we are the ones who have been put in position to create laws of said land.
Sort of why Israel's fighting the Middle East right now. You know what I'm saying, with that land over there, because they're saying they were destined and put there.
That's the only way you can, if you understand the science of life, which we all understand it to some degree. We were all born here, all of us. We were all born on this planet. So, by nature, and it's ours by right. You dig what I'm saying? Because this is our home by right. Just because this is where we were placed. This is where we were manifested at. This is our home. We have no choice but for this to be our home. So who are you to say this is my land, just my land, and now you're officially on my land? You dig what I'm saying? There's something with that doesn't sit well with me. And this is the reason why they had to put laws in place to establish control for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what that was all about.
Right.
And that was the very first joint that gave them the power to put everything else in position to bring us to where we are today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some shit right
My
there.
question is, who was the one who wrote the laws?
Who wrote Manifest Destiny?
No, just like the laws of saying, like you said, who wrote those laws saying that this land is mine now? Like, there's
Forefathers.
right, and what were their interests? You know what I'm saying? Like,
The interest was control. And they seen the growth and potential of having said land. You know what I mean?
right.
That come from
That's
that.
what I mean. It was one-sided.
Absolutely.
It was one-sided.
And the laws, and they weren't in tune or in sync with the natural order of the universe in no way, shape, form, or fashion. So these laws that they set up weren't in sync with that.
No.
So therefore, they're going against the grain of the natural order of things. That's why we run across the hiccups that we do in the government and shit like that, is because it's not in accordance to how things should naturally flow. You know
Right.
what I mean? Especially when you're not basing our foundation off of science and mathematics, is always going to be a problem, because that's what we use with everything else in life. From how our car works to how our houses are heated, is some form of mathematics or science or thought that's put. It's thought that's put into that make that work. These are the things that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So why isn't the same idea applied when we talking about the laws of the land? That shit is based off of feelings, I think, and how a person felt at the time. It was just in 2007 that George W. Bush had to write in the law that we were more than 3/5 of a person.
Right.
That
That
shit was
recently
still
happened.
that recently happened in 2007.
A lot of people wasn't on that. A lot of people wasn't on that.
You know what I'm saying? So, based off of that alone, I think we got to revisit how we maneuver in the world today. Because it all started, you can't be surprised at none of the things that happens in today's society. You can't be surprised.
Well,
Just because of how it started. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, man. If people did what you said and they did that, it wouldn't matter. They know already. The ones who own that's in power, they already know that. So, and they count on the masses not wanting to find out, or not having the drive to find out, or read and get that knowledge to find out. Because if they did, it'll be chaos. If people knew what the people in power were actually doing to us, every day you wake up, from the time you wake up, how many poisons they shooting into you, gamma rays, all kinds of stuff. If you knew what they was doing, it would be chaos.
Yo.
But
It's funny you said that, because it's a clip I want to play that's in sync with kind of what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dope because somebody called me this morning, son, and they was like really, really excited. They was like really amped on the whole thought of just being sick and tired of us getting the short end of the stick, if you will. You know, understand what I'm saying? They just was burnt out, man, and they were looking for reasons to fix it, if you will. You know what I mean? They was just trying to look for it. So he came across this clip. And what the clip is, it's a clip of a white person pretty much talking about why they do the things they do and how they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. It's a clip. I'm about to play it. I'm going to play it. You know what I'm saying? Peace. What's up, brother?
Peace.
Yeah, we live, man. You know what I mean? So, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Peace, King. What's going on? Just gonna check this joint. Check it out real quick.
That's funny.
You ready? You ready too?
The white supremacist said, I can't maintain a system with black people being serious, so I'm going to redirect their seriousness, and I'm going to do it through something that they relate to best. I'm going to do it through a medium that they can relate to, and that is entertainment. So I'm going to twist and turn their entertainment in such a way that where it was anti-non-justice before, where they were trying to talk about justice and head in that direction, I'm going to redirect that whole machine right before their eyes, and since they are a primitive people, they won't even realize what I'm doing, because it will all be fun, because I know how to package stuff that doesn't make sense so that it is fun. And I'll have them directing their entire existence to getting up in the morning and looking for something stupid to do. And they won't even know that they're looking for something stupid to do, because they're just that stupid, because I will have programmed them to be stupid. And from the late 1960s, after the death of Martin Luther King and the riots and the upheavals and all like this, and black people with their fist in there and all like that, and trying to stumble and fumble and find their way and get focus, the white supremacists made a blueprint and put it into action. And that is, I'm going to have these people so confused, they don't even know what they started out to do. And by the late 1970s, they had just about completed it. And we've been on that ever since. And you mentioned something very important. They are more comfortable than ever. But see, it's like making gorillas comfortable in a cage, or monkeys, or pandas. You still got them in a cage, but they're comfortable. See, so give him some bling bling. It's like giving an animal a brand new car and training the animal to ride up and down the street in it. And then you stand back and point at the animal. Like one white man said in the late 1950s. He said he doesn't care what kind of car a Negro has. He said he's still a nigger. And when he rides by in a shiny car, to him, it's just a monkey in a car. White people built a car, put a monkey in it, trained the monkey to drive the car, so now you're looking at a monkey in a car. See, but black people don't see themselves that way. But this is how the white supremacists see us, and they are the ones who run our business. And we have to know that when they look at us, that's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see. And at a subliminal level, what they see begins to spill over into our brains, so that we at a subliminal level see each other that way. And indirectly see ourselves that way. And that's why here it is in the year 2008, we have no problem slaughtering each other and think it's fun. You can hear the 9mm popping in the night even as we speak. That's black people out there having fun, because that's what we're doing. F-U-N. That's what that comes under. That's entertainment. Killing each other. That's fun. That's almost the definition of black fun. If we're not doing that, we're not really having fun. If we're not doing harm to each other, saying something derogatory, and really, the crown and jewel, killing another black person, we're not really living. And we don't even know that that's our culture. And the white supremacists have very carefully engineered it. Now, this is very important to know in order to solve our problems. Because you say, well, now knowing that, Fuller, what's the solution? One is very simple. Black people shouldn't even be in contact with each other unless they're talking about something constructive. That means the cell phone should be dead silent most of the time. Because you listen to the average black conversation in this area of the world on a cell phone, and what do you hear? You don't hear anything that's necessary to be said. The white supremacists said, I can't maintain a system with black people being serious, so I'm going to redirect their seriousness, and I'm going to do it through something that they relate to best. I'm going to do it through a medium that they cell phone. And what do you...
It's on the replay, right?
No, it's one
Most of the
piece.
time. Because you listen to the average black conversation in this area of the world on a cell phone, and what do you hear? You don't hear anything that's necessary to be said. The white supremacists said, I can't maintain a system with black people being serious, so I'm going to redirect their seriousness, and I'm going to do it through something that they relate to best. I'm going to do it through a medium that they...
That's it.
So,
Do you hear what he was saying?
yeah.
Like, if that's not a ultimate, like, slap in the face, because when you listen to it, it's a direct reflection of exactly what's going on nowadays when you look around. Exactly. Like, there's a total disregard for any type of growth amongst our people, and it's been like that for the longest time. You know what I mean? And until we get to a point where we really start recognizing who we are and where we come from, then that shit is going to get worse, and it's going to continue to have us in a place where we got our foot on our neck and can't move forward. You know what I mean? Like, he said it should be no reason at the point. We're so far behind, and we're so caught up on not knowing who we are and the root of where we come from that that's a white man saying that it should be no reason that we ever get together if we ain't building. You understand what I'm saying? He's talking about, you know what I mean? He's like, we should never be together caught up in a cell phone or we ain't talk about something productive. Never. And look at us. Instagram. You know what I mean? All day long. Look at us. Facebook all day long. We all day long on social media and shit that's in a way teaching us. Because we ain't teaching it. That was always the saying we had when we was coming up. That if you ain't teaching them, they definitely teaching you. And that comes from the people you got around you. Is a reflection of who you are. You dig what I'm saying?
Let me say this. Who was that talking?
As far as what?
On that recording.
I don't even know.
Right. The fact that no one knows who that is gives me pause.
As far as what?
As far as, you know how you heard, like right now, like social media, you can hear about something happening and then copycat on it to make yourself look like that you're a part of what they're talking about.
Okay.
Right? So as I was listening to him, at first I was getting upset, like, yo, he said what? You know what I'm saying? At first, but then I thought to myself, why am I getting upset when I don't know who that is? That could be some executive, some geek who works for Comcast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And hold on, and put something out to make himself look like something he is that he's not. And for me to get upset about some white dude. Maybe he might not even be white. It may be somebody spreading a propaganda to even perpetuate some kind of war. You know what I'm saying?
That's possible, but let me ask you this. This part of it was a two-part question. You answered a part of it with the last part we said, the propagate a war. My question is, out of what was said, was any of it inaccurate?
Oh, listen. What he was saying about us is what I think is happening to everybody worldwide now.
What
It's
you mean?
spread as far as social media and as far as focus being taken off and being redirected. Like that's
Absolutely.
happening
Well, on that note,
and-
absolutely. But
Right.
let me tell you something. With black people being the original people on the planet, being the ones that we're talking about falling in position and falling in line and really educating people on the natural order of things in the universe, then we of all people should not be the ones who fall in the victim to these things. We're supposed to be the seer of these things and not caught up in that world. You dig what I'm saying? Because that's preventing us from being great. Like, even in instances when, like, people talk about black on black crime and they get offended now when you say that. Like, there is no black on black crime. Like, there's white on white crime too, and there's Chinese and Chinese on crime. So stop saying black on black crime. But at the end of the day, how I see it is, black on black crime is worse because of who we are and how great we are. You understand what I'm saying? And we, if anybody in this human race, need to be leading it by example, not being at the bottom as stereotyped as we are, is my views on that. And that's just what it is. When you want to talk about science and you want to talk about math or whatever the deal may be, when you lay it all out, the original people on the planet should be leading by example, and that's a fact. And that's what they were talking about. It was about, that's exactly what's happened. The whole build that the brother was talking about, or the cracker or whoever it was, I don't fucking know, but it was the jewel that was in it. We used to talk about this earlier, as far as if you cross in the street and a fucking big ass truck coming down the block was bent the corner, you ain't even see it, but it's a bum laying right there on the ground, and the bum say, yo, look out, it's a truck coming. You gonna not listen to the bum because it's a bum and not look to see if it's the truck about to come run you the fuck over? You gonna take the information regardless of who it's coming from and not get ran over by it, or at least look, you understand what I'm saying? Or anything. Like, a person could say all kinds of shit. Like, we was building about the origin of where we come from, and we was talking about everybody on the planet right now, everybody wasn't alive when any of these world religions was started. None of us. None of us was alive. Life, basically what I'm saying is, life was going on. It was going on already when we were all born. You dig what I'm saying? So that's similar to going to a library and taking a book off the shelf and opening that book up, and in the middle, you open that book up to the middle, not the beginning, how we all normally know how you read a book. You open the book up to the middle of the book and start reading from there, and then you read to the end and say that you understood the whole book. That don't even make no sense, because you gotta start at the beginning. So that's similar to with life. All of us, we gotta do the research. We have to. Like what he said and what was said, you right, it could have been totally made up. Somebody could have looked at the state of the black people right now and took that and created that video, that audio clip. However, if the audio clip is true, then they're not gonna care anyway. So how is that? You dig what I'm saying? Like, how would that be effective? Who was that? Because the people who would get upset about that were upset already. You know what I mean? That we didn't need that clip to re-upset us, really, at the end of the day. It was there, placed in a way where we already knew what was going on. What time is it? Oh, yeah, we about to go to a break, too. We already knew. You know what I mean? We're going to revisit that when we come back after these records and shit. You can throw a couple of them joints on, too, that we ain't bang yet. That Sapphire joint, I didn't even know you had that. That's a classic. I saw you.
It's your boy Ricky Knight, man. You already know.
That's cool.
It's the tempo to make a hoe.
That's
Drop
cool.
it low,
Yeah.
all the way down to the floor. Look up high, paper falling from the sky.
Big crack, let's go.
I'm talking bankroll on top of bankroll on top of bankroll. Pockets stay swole like a swole ankle. Talking about them pesos that cream cheese no bagel. Get robbed, oh that's a nano. Big clock knockout like KO. Blah 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 blah, bitch shake foe.
I'm talking bankrolls after bankrolls. All four pockets got them bankrolls down to my ankle. My socks busted
Yeah.
out my play clothes right through my sweatpants.
Podcast.
I be walking like a Laker through the Staples. In the club they call me Kobe, but I'm the late show. And like magic I got bankrolls. I need a Draco for my bankrolls. Get you Staples all in your navel. I got a Navy getting bankrolls. They just pay me
I'm
bankrolls.
talking bankrolls on top of bankrolls on top of bankrolls. Pockets broke, oh hell no. Get moolah flipping medals. Got 940 Desert Eagles and those straight A specials. Just take it easy when you see me. I might have to let go. Now take four, then FOMO. In and out your photo. I'm getting low, then reappear. Know where I'm at, just pull up. I got the gas, now roll up. My pockets got them bankrolls. I got that gas, now roll up. My pockets got them bankrolls. Got those bankrolls. I'm in the room with the smoke, unforgettable quotes, miraculous dope stuck in the speakers. Let's go to a place they don't go. I only know cause I go. In fact, I built a house there and made them shovel my snow. We so icy in July, get your skellies and coats. Take your time, little bro. You don't smoke what we smoke. Superpowers got me thinking I can pick up a boat. And the water's so wavy, we be doing the most. I'm a king when I talk, jewelry in my thoughts. Put my voice into computers, let it blend with the bass. Sipping on some new liquor while we smoking the safe. I'm way cool in the Benz, we trying to make new friends. I'm talking about girlfriends, who got more girlfriends than just tonight. Baby girl, you'll be my girlfriend. Yo, I won't tell if you don't, I know she probably will. And now her girlfriends want me and they all on my heels.
Cold in July, either you going to jail or you going to die. It gets cold in July, either you on the boat or you going to fly. Yo, love going to trump the hate every time. The pain going to suffocate you if you cry. We was in December making moves for July. Sunwun said snow and it fell out the sky. I swear I never lied, probably only to my wife. And that came with a psych. Motorcycle jacket, that came with a bike. Thumb up on the gram, that came with a like. I came with a dike, left with 3 bitches like I'm trafficking a night. Like I'm King Jaffe Joffre and I'm African at night. I'm telling you, they envy when they ask about my life. So I don't talk about it, I just tell them I'm alright. Better than some, worse than other niggas like. The Timbs got jealous of the Benz. The nigga in the wheelchair got jealous of the Timbs. And the nigga that's dead was jealous of his friends. It's cold in July, I can't wait till the winter. It's cold in July, I can't wait till the winter. Cause it gets cold in July. Either you going to jail or you going to die. It gets cold in July. Either you on the boat or you going to fly. It gets cold in July, so look at me, I'm Rodeo or Ocean Drive. It gets cold in July, Challenger, charge.
I wore Gucci in December, Louis in September, Fendi in the summer. I'ma kill him next winter on some king shit. I'm on the throne with my empress, laughing at the hoes from before who lost interest. We in the truck for the winter, the drop in the summer, coupe for the spring. Time to shoot another movie. Put my team in the credits was the only way to do it. Showing love to who love you back. That's what we doing. Getting bigger while I'm lifting, sharper every minute. Teaching on the corners almost had me in the district, making kings out of niggas and queens out of bitches. See me change the narrative by painting a different picture. Leonardo, Donatello, keep it cool like Da Vinci. I'm so focused on my mission, never caught on being trendy. No, I'm not a drug dealer, it's a God in the mirror. I'm so royal, take a look at them niggas, they can't compare us.
We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Marijuana and a hookah, Pornhub on a computer. EXO was the hand, he made a fortune out in Paris. Them niggas still embarrassed, my jewelry 30 carats. Them suckers is geriatric, don't trust them, I carry ratchets. My numbers is always adding, been great with my mathematics. You Barbies is so plastic, my women is all natural. How many times I told them, got a text photo. So many fell in line, I overdid the quota. My weed from overseas, it got a different odor. The car from overseas, it got a different motor. Shorty took a knee, she tryna keep me over. Turned a quick visit to a sleepover. Turned a couple quarters to a pretty fortune. Turned a Ford Explorer to a Range Rover. Now it's good time smoking Jimmy Walker. I bought a new chrome, I call it James
We was
Evans.
smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Glockaware exclusive. Run that shit back.
Be young.
I wore Gucci in December, Louis in September, Fendi in the summer. I'ma kill him next winter on some king shit. I'm on the throne with my empress, laughing at the hoes from before who lost interest. We in the truck for the winter, the drop in the summer, coupe for the spring. Time to shoot another movie. Put my team in the credits was the only way to do it. Showing love to who love you back. That's what we doing. Getting bigger while I'm lifting, sharper every minute. Teaching on the corners almost had me in the district, making kings out of niggas and queens out of bitches. See me change the narrative by painting a different picture. Leonardo, Donatello, keep it cool like Da Vinci. I'm so focused on my mission, never caught on being trendy. No, I'm not a drug dealer, it's a God in the mirror. I'm so royal, take a look at them niggas, they can't compare us.
We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking in that hoopty, dollar for Toulouse, Toolie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Marijuana and a hookah, Pornhub on a computer. EXO was the hand, he made a fortune out in Paris. Them niggas still embarrassed, my jewelry 30 carats. Them suckers is geriatric, don't trust them, I carry ratchets. My numbers is always adding, been great with my mathematics. You Barbies is so plastic, my women is all natural. How many times I told them, got a text photo. So many fell in line, I overdid the quota. My weed from overseas, it got a different odor. The car from overseas, it got a different motor. Shorty took a knee, she tryna keep me over. Turned a quick visit to a sleepover. Turned a couple quarters to a pretty fortune. Turned a Ford Explorer to a Range Rover. Now it's good time smoking Jimmy Walker. I bought a new chrome, I call it James Evans. Smoking and I hooped it. Dollar for Toulouse. Tootie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution. We was smoking and I hooped it. Dollar for Toulouse. Tootie in the Sherlin for you niggas acting goofy. I'm a king, not a nigga. Don't confuse me. No more television, time to start the revolution.
Out in the park, now it's $1 billion business, it's not my fault. You can tell by the way I dress and how I walk, the way I drip, the beat drop, and how I talk. Too much sauce, you couldn't cut Tough Crew off, cause it was so damn rough like the Tough Crew song. Had the Reebok classes with the gumshoes, dog. All the fun we had and all the ones we lost. You got the movers, the shakers, the poppers, and the lockers, the DJs, the sock, the MCs, and the boppers, the breakers. A million man march couldn't save us. The energy created around them 2 turntables. I'm hot, rhyme ready when I speak. Hip hop and R&B, 7 days a week.
You know what? You know what?
Since the sandbox, I was Anthrax. I was Beach Street with a train at. I was Lido, wearing them leads though. Alpinas, cheap yo. Drinking 40s, pulling out bankrolls. I remember grandma stepping on my Legos. I remember broke backing up my Play-Doh. JBM was the ATM of the way though. A brick in the Winnebago. Pancakes and syrups, they ain't let go their ego. Or let go their ego. Ain't couldn't beat Mike Tyson on Nintendo.
Leather jacket, shell tops in my Kango. Gold rope chains when I'm posing for the Polaroid. Backspins with that cardboard or linoleum. Krylon paint, sign my name on the stadium. Cyphers in the park, South Street as a dog. Beatboxing on the corner till the police came. We would battle anybody so they know our name. Beat Street, Wild Style, and my #1 J. Technique 1200, got the speaker box pumping. Ain't nothing but the brand new funk that we be smoking. New stage, new city, new hundreds, new 50s. More women backstage trying to show me they hold up.
How she fly with Medusa on my tee. Look like I'm from Dubai, but I'm from NP. If you wanna see me live, check my tour day sheet. When they throw on flip side, that crowd scream, yeah, free. Yeah, while I be in Cockney, shopping in the mall like I ain't bored from the property. Rhyme properly, burn a beat like some calories. Used to count my pellies from the blue inside the gallery. Used to pull my scully down low and flow melodically. Boogie down production is nothing but my philosophy. 93 back of the trolley, spitting, finishing with fatalities. Ring, 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 ring.
Never witnessed until now. Sunwun. I done heard it all, stop talking to me. Never was I scared of they ghost stories. I was in the hood drinking warm 40s, smoking old weed out of broke Phillies. Summertime chilly down in North Philly. Nigga got shot walking out his building. On the way to school picking up his children. On his birthday, right around Christmas. Damn, I see the big picture. Damn, through my new lenses. Fendi put them out for like $850. The chain on my neck look like an ice sculpture. Your girl looking at me trying to take a portrait. Your man on my dick asking where I bought it. We all know nigga can't afford it. King talk, nigga, run the jewels up. 12 bricks in the suitcase. 40 bands in the shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just trying to see who come first. Trunk full of drugs. That's what you want, right? Money in the bag. That's what you want, right? Girls going by. That's what you want, right? That's what you want, right? That's what you want, that's what you want. Hit the booth, killer might run the jewels up. I'm still drinking marijuana stinking. Back in the city, this time to Ben Franklin. Damn, wrong Ezek, now it's Ty Coney. A-Day news, shoot another movie. Cinematic shit, keep the camera rolling. 97,000 for the wardrobe. The lawn out front is a car show. New kitchen on the first and second floor. Skylight for when your bitch wanna see the stars. I know, niggas ain't fucking with me. I know, niggas don't fuck with me. You know, I gotta keep the thing with me. They know, I'm still with whatever, nigga. 12 bricks in a suitcase. 40 bands in a shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just tryna see who come first. Full of drugs. Money in the bag. Girls going by. 12 bricks in a suitcase. 40 bands in a shoebox. 4 girls in the back room. They just tryna see who come first. Full of drugs. Money in the bag. Girls going by.
Probably won't know till I show, but this ain't like before. My new flow, not too fast, not too slow. This the tempo to make a hoe. Drop it low, all the way down to the floor. Look up high, paper falling from the sky.
Let's go.
I'm talking bankroll on top of bankroll on top of bankroll. Pockets stay swole like a swole ankle. Talking about them pesos, that cream cheese, no bagel. Get robbed, oh that's a nano. Big Glock knock out like KO. Blah 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 blah, bitch shake foe.
I'm talking bankrolls after bankrolls. All 4 pockets got them bankrolls down to my ankle. My socks busting out my play clothes, right through my sweatpants. I be walking like a Laker through the Staples. In the club they call me Kobe, but I'm the late show. And like magic, I got bankrolls. I need a Draco for my bankrolls. Get you staples all in your navel. I got a Navy getting bankrolls. They just pay me bankrolls.
I'm talking bankrolls on top of bankrolls on top of bankrolls. Pockets broke, oh hell no. Get moolah flipping medals. Got 940 Desert Eagles and those straight A specials. Just take it easy when you see me. I might have to let go. Now take 4, then 4 more. In and out your photo. I'm getting low, then reappear. Know where I'm at. Just pull up. I got the gas, now roll up. My pockets got them bankrolls. I got that gas, now roll up. My pockets got them bankrolls. Got those bankrolls.
Back.
Yo. We wavy? Is we wavy too? I'm wavy. All right, I hear myself. I'm good. Yeah, you ain't gotta turn me too loud. I'm wavy. Yo,
Peace.
Yeah, welcome everybody back to the Dominant Still podcast.
Yeah.
I'm the host, Rod D Supreme, aka Sunwun, aka a whole list of names, but we gonna stick with those 2. You know what I'm saying? They thought I was about to go there. I ain't gonna do that today. You know what I'm saying? What we was building about, just to recap, some of the things we was talking about was the whole Manifest Destiny. And virtually that Manifest Destiny is the first. Manifest Destiny was like the first law. Because it gave way to all the other laws. Without that one in place, none of the other laws matter. Because if that wasn't in place, then it's not your land. That's how important that shit is. I don't understand why they don't put more emphasis on that and what it is. I know we probably heard it before, or
I mean, of course, they ain't gonna put no emphasis on that. They don't want.
Right. I was about to say that they not. They know.
right
already.
So all of that is based off of that being the root of their whole system. So when you understand that, you know that was put in place so that they could keep a certain group of individuals in control. That's what that whole 1% is about. The 1% of the population that dealing with that maintains most of the country's wealth. Mm-hmm. That whole shit, that's where that comes from. You know what I'm saying? That shit's been since day one, kid. Why wouldn't it be? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you set it up that way if it was you who set it up first?
I always say we're playing an away game. You're playing an away game.
That's the sugar-coated way, and I get that because you're right. I look at it as we're prisoners of war.
Well,
because it was a war that took slavery was a war. That was the process of a war. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
was
people
part of the spoils of any war.
Mad people died in that shit. You think what I'm saying? Like facts, like
all arms and shots was fired.
Facts, like
before we was even brought here.
Right. To get us here, and then once we were here, to get up out of the oppression state that we was in was a war. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. And we are the results. We are the leftovers of that.
Byproduct.
And we're in the. You understand? This shit not set up for us. You heard what the fucking audio clip I played was saying? Like that shit is because they can't do what they do if we focused on what needs to be done for us. They can't.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Let's say black people did what white people did. Right?
As far as what?
As far as taking something and knowing you're not rightfully owning something and treating people like just the way things are set up. What I'm saying is, anytime that anybody have talks like this, we're having talks like this, we're talking about an opposition. We always talk about they, right? So what if we were the they? Would you let somebody in? Your people from your grandpa had this block already, and then these new people come, and they seem cool, but are you gonna let them infiltrate that much where you know your money's gonna get low? You have control here, right? Are you gonna let them in? Are you gonna really cut them in? No,
Absolutely not.
right. So when we talk about like
That's why, and I
things are
don't.
this way, things are that way, it's gonna be a lot of people that are not gonna make it. And we can talk about it, but until somebody is ready to take back what they took from us physically, it ain't happening.
That's a fact.
It ain't happening. We can talk about it all day long.
You know what's crazy?
It's going to be a lot of your own brothers and sisters that's going to get X'd out if it really went down to what we're talking about. If it really went down to what we're talking about. Because I'm not dancing around it. The only way that we're going to get what we're talking about, and I'm not talking about fighting a white man. I'm talking about anybody. If your family isn't right, and you get your family together, they're right, and there's going to be people around that's not going to ever get right. I'm not worried about you. You're already gone. You're lost already. We're not talking about them. The people that's ready to do it is going to get done. If it's not going to get done, it's going to be people talking about it. It's not no white man holding nobody down. Ain't no man sitting behind no desk with a suit on laughing at black people. It's not that's not happening. They don't care about that anymore. It's money. It's money. It's educating yourself. And if you are not on it, then you're gone. Period.
That's a fact. That's a fact, yo. What I want to say is the system that we are incorporated with right now is, like you're saying, based off of money, right? And we will have to separate ourselves from the system in order for anything that we're talking about to work. And it's difficult to do that, to detach from what you've been attached to all of your life.
Been a part of.
You've been a part of this shit your whole life. Your whole life. You dig what I'm saying? So to detach from that is like, what? Are you crazy? Especially when everybody you know and love is attached as well. And a part of the detachment may involve being detached from them as well if they don't want to detach with you. So that's a part of a lot of people's holdbacks or setbacks when it comes to trying to explore different ways of thinking, different schools of thought. That prevents them from doing so because their loved ones won't do it. And they're scared how their loved ones may look at them if they start talking a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Start looking a certain way, not following what the Joneses is doing. You dig what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people may not know how to deal with that. So it's important that we always recognize who we are and where we come from. And to move forward with anything, we got to separate. And that ain't got nothing to do with hating nobody. It got everything to do with loving ourselves. And the system that will have to be set in place will be based off of the natural order and the natural flow of the universe. Period. It will have to be based off of that, or else it won't work. Anything else is some man-made bullshit where a motherfucker trying to be the ruler and be controlling shit, and everything is about control. Everything. That's just 100. You dig me? if niggas didn't eat chickens, if people ain't eat chicken, there would be chickens running around everywhere. But because that's money, you understand what I'm saying? They not running around like squirrels. And the only reason squirrels are fucking running around is because we don't eat them. We don't care about them. You understand what I'm saying? Let people start eating squirrels or pigeons and shit. You're not going to see them no more. Because they're going to grab all them shits up and put them behind the fence and sell them back to you for $5 each. That's facts. That's what they're going to do.
Squirrels be worth like $500 each.
They scarce.
Probably
It's not
is
as many of them Jones. They scarce as shit.
Somewhere you can get a squirrel sandwich.
Nah, maybe.
Somewhere you
down
can get.
south.
You can
Down
get.
south.
You
That's
can
a
get
fact.
blackened squirrel.
That's a fact. I will not take that from you. That's a fact. That's
Can I get the side of pine nuts and some blackened squirrel?
damn. I'm good on that though. I'm good. Squirrel meat's not official. Never was.
You
never
blacken
will be.
anything is good.
It never was. It never was. But it would have to be a total separation. Like there's systems that we can put in place where we can connect our houses to the planet. And this shit may sound like some future shit, but it's not. Like as far as like how this, you got your sewage systems and all of that. I mean, up under the crib, obviously when you flush the toilet, that shit goes down to a sewage system. But you can set up systems where we can heat our houses from the heat from the planet of the earth. Because the earth, the core of the earth got its own temperature.
Geothermal.
Geothermal heating is what that's called.
That's hot.
And to the point where you would never have to pay a gas bill again in life, ever. That would be a thing of the past. If simple systems like that were just set up. Like there's systems set up where we really can make cars where they never break. Where them shits, can you imagine buying a car and you never ever have to worry about doing the brakes again? Shit, they have shit like that, but why would they do it? Because that shuts down the whole industry.
Right.
That shuts
They're
down
not
money.
gonna
It's
get
not
that.
about. But see, this is the system of being self-sufficient. Because the way that they doing it, we're depleting our resources, and it's gonna get to a point where we don't even have the means to continue to do the shit that we doing. You dig what I'm saying? We're not even gonna have the means to do the shit. So the change gonna have to come eventually. We already experiencing shit like Grow Global. We already heating the planet up like a motherfucker. Everybody got a car. Everybody's driving every day, all day. Every bus is running. Like the planet already heating up. You understand what I'm saying? But they're not addressing none of that because it's not interesting. We more caught up on the next Protect that came out, or what's the next outfit, or what's the next, or why he's still wearing the same outfit 3 days straight. Like shit, we still worrying about trivial dumb shit like that when we need to be all making new friends out here. You mean to tell me you met all the thorough people in your life, all of them? You're not gonna meet there's no more thorough people in the world.
Sir.
Everybody outside of the people you met today
can't.
is against you, and they're trying to sabotage you. They have alternative motives and all of that. Like this is what you're telling me?
You can't get in my circle, dog.
I want nobody else in my circle ever. Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yo,
like
my
you dig what I'm
circle
saying?
closed,
Like,
dog.
but that's mentalities that they're trying to instill in our people to keep us from unifying.
Right.
That's mentalities they try to instill in us to keep us from seeing the true power that we have, and that true power that we have is to come together. Ain't nothing stronger than that. Nothing. T-shirt with Mickey Mouse all over that joint. Right? Hold up. Let me take it back. Let me go put on a T-shirt with Coca-Cola all over that joint, the logo. Niggas gonna look at me like, that shit corny. Like, that's corny. But like 30 years ago, that shit was the shit.
Right.
It was the wave. Like, if you had on, and I'm talking about like 30 years ago, it was probably that long.
Used jeans.
If you had on used jeans and a Coca-Cola T-shirt,
you get numbers.
was super lit.
You're getting numbers.
And the point that I'm making is that was only because we gave it energy. We gave it that energy.
Gave that chicken sandwich energy.
We gave the Popeye's chicken sandwich energy. We gave everything energy, and without our energy, it doesn't matter. Like whatever fancy car or whatever the case may be, it's only dope because we give it energy. We the ones who make it. The car won't work if I don't make it work. So it's pointless.
We don't
Not
get
eight-
enough good shit energy. That's what the
Exactly.
problem
We ain't
is.
putting enough energy into things that matter. Like even with the autonomous cars, they talking about cars that drive themselves. Who gives a fuck if it's driving itself if there's nobody in it to take them somewhere? Like we are the energy source of everything, and we lost thought of that. We lost that thought. We forgot who we are. We forgot that we give all of this shit power. You feel what I'm saying? We do got to get that energy to more things that are productive, more things that are beneficial to all of us collectively as a whole. Because you start to lose the thoughts of trying to kill your brother. Until you see that, you never going to get the connection. You're never going to, because at that point is when you can begin to connect with the planet and the universe and understand why we even here in the first place. And really start to see things, the powers that we got when we in tune that we never even had a chance to explore because everybody is so individualized. Everybody is so caught up on themselves that they could care less about what the next man is doing or trying to build collectively together. That's why I think that shit is very important that we change that shit. That's what the Dominant Still podcast is about. You know what I mean? Changing the narrative of what people think about on a daily basis and shit. What they see and how they even want to carry themselves and shit. You feel me, God?
Indeed, I feel you, G.
Yeah, that's real shit, man. Like, we could do it every week. You know what I mean? Because the links is the benefit in this. It's about teaching the people. That was the whole reason we even started the podcast, was to teach the masses about things they may not have thought about prior to watching this shit. You know what I mean? Conversations they may never even thought to have had, or probably wanted to have them, didn't know who to have them with.
You know, a lot of people have conversations like this, but they're just copying the conversation that they heard. But they don't dissect the conversation like you're doing right now.
You have to.
Because everybody can say, oh man, you know, we gotta get ourselves together. We gotta get ourselves okay. How? You know what I'm saying? We know that already. Like, how?
Yeah, we have to.
So when you talk about how, that's a whole other story.
You gotta really point the finger at what the problem is and just leave it alone. Like, you gotta, on the smallest scale to the largest scale, you gotta look at it and apply the same method, the same tactics. Like, for example, if I got a weight problem, go to the stove burning their hand on the stove. If they don't learn from that, I eventually got to find a way to show them that this is not the right route to be taken when the stove is on, burning your hand all up. That same method got to be applied even on a larger scale.
Go to the root.
You got to go to the root with everything. You go to the root of what the problem is. And what I say every day, all the time, the root of what the ultimate, of every problem, when you get to thinking about whatever you want to think about, police brutality, you want to think about racism, you want to think about self-hate, you want to think about depression, you want to think about all of these things. When you really think about all of these things, it's a common denominator amongst all of them. And
I think a lot of it is neurological problems. I think a lot of people have mental issues.
I agree.
Before you can even talk about getting together as a people, you need to get yourself together. Because if you're not mentally healthy, you won't be any good to anybody.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people have I'm talking about white, black, brown, purple, everybody. A lot of people has mental issues that won't allow you to even get past the basic steps of being like what we're talking about.
Yeah, and the thing is because you're 100% right. You're 100% right. There are mental issues that a lot of people have. There are a lot of people who don't share some of the views that you share. There are a lot of people who may choose to walk a different path than what you may walk, for whatever their reasons may be. I totally agree with that on many levels. At the end of the day, the truth is going to hold precedence over all of that. And by that, what I mean is, like, for example, to keep it simple, the example I gave with the stove, and not if someone who doesn't understand, like even us can make that mistake at times. Like you walk in the kitchen, you may smell something cooking, but you may be used to it being on top of the stove, but it ain't. Somebody got a cake in the oven, and you brush your hand past real fast and get burnt by that. But now you know that stove is hot. You see what I'm saying? Regardless if I wanted it to be or not, I didn't want to get burnt. You dig what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, just because a person has a mental issue, there's empathy for that for sure, but that doesn't change the situation at hand. Just because you fucked up in the head don't mean that we could have any type. That don't mean that, how can I say this? That doesn't mean that the truth still ain't the truth, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You got to get right. Like at the end of the day, if you're not getting right, then what's the point? You're going to be fucked up anyway, and you're going to die in your own shit. You're going to get caught up in your own shit, just to keep it 100. You know what I mean? You can try to help a person as much as you can to see it the right direction, but if they want to hold on to whatever it is that's holding them back and being who they are, then that's on them. There's nothing else you could do about that, and they're going to be a victim of whatever they're a victim of. It's a whole, you're right, it's a gang of people out here with mental issues, and there are some that can be helped and some that there is no help for. You know what I mean? There's some people who don't even want to be helped. They happy with being fucked up or not knowing what's going on. They don't even want to know what's going on. Like, you bugging. Like, you talk about too much shit that I don't even care about. Like, and that's crazy. You know what I mean? I think, but that's real. It's real shit.
Some people don't want to think. Some people just don't want to think, and some people will probably not want to admit that. But a lot of people, some people, you know, just
some people say that they don't want to think, but it took thought to think that. So that's the most ridiculous statement.
Well, that is ridiculous.
And that's where I'm like, it's you know, a lot of things that we taught and the things we talking about is dealing with self-defeatist things that have been ingrained in us to make us think that things, you know, the adversity of reaching a higher plane of living for real is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, every obstacle that we could think of and put in front of us and say where it came from, you know, we still got to get down to the root of it. And I you know, I add on and say that I see the root as being self. Self is something we all are really talking about. There's different versions of self and how you manifest yourself, and how you talk about manifest destiny and things of that nature of projection of self. You know what I mean? And it's really everybody fighting to project themselves, to see their individuality seen in the world. And that's where all that conflict comes from, because the differences that you want to see and showing the world, like you said, the things in the cars and the fancy jewelry and those things that separate you and be able to make you shine above others and show some level of individuality other than when the root of it is really we all one. We really all one.
Facts.
And that we fighting to keep these individual personas, because we know we really don't want to go back to really what it is we all one. We all share everything. You know what I mean? Everything could be amongst us all. Once we get that, that's true love. Once you remove yourself from a situation and you start seeing somebody as you, that's when you really have love. You know what I mean? And that's really what we're talking about. And that'll go above any mental health issues even. Because there's mental health issues that really are part of what the society is set up.
Right.
That these people don't fit into this particular society of self-projection that we living in. You know what I mean? We don't even look at it from that way. We just try to get them fixed so we can get them back into the wheel, back into the system. You know what I mean? For real. And not really seeing that maybe these is different ways of manifestation of the mind and not really ailments. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know, speaking from everything I heard we all building about. You know me, God, I'm like a black seed, I'm wisdom seed, but you know, I sit back and do the knowledge, and that's what we talking about. You know what I mean? Just to, you know, bring it to something that I see, you know, add on to it.
Yeah, that's
and
real.
That's coming from why we talking about how it started with the music being used against us, everything being used against us. And it's not just us. We talking about the original man, yeah, black people, but it's against everybody too. Because everybody got to be in on it to be able to get a whole race of people to be chosen, as that's the ones we going to torment and that's the ones we going to oppress. we got to get everybody else to agree. So everybody was fooled. You know what I mean? Even the ones that say, damn, well, how we let it be? That's part of the thing. You was fooled too.
Right. And that's the 1%, because it's almost like, it's almost crazy. Like, how can 1% maintain that much, that's such a large portion of the wealth? You know what I mean? That always blew my mind. And that's to show you the power behind the laws that they set in place.
Know that 1% was so small at one point. It wasn't even like 1%, not like 10, 15 years ago. And just the explosion. And to do the knowledge to how, all right, we got trillionaires almost. Where is the money coming from? Is it are they printing it? No, right? What it's just where is it coming from? That shit is all made up, man. That shit is digital. You know what I'm saying? It's digital money. They just say it's that way, and that's the way it is. He got trillions. You know what I mean? It ain't measured in how much gold he got. No, it's measured in how much data resources people have. You know what I mean? It's crazy now, B. Crazy now.
That's a fact.
And that's crazy because they trading in data, in knowledge. Imagine that, G. That's the trade now.
That's the jewels.
That's the jewels of who you are, your information, and all of that. That's what's being traded amongst you, and that they counting them trillions on is the information about you.
Right. I was listening to a jewel about that today, where they selling your information, and it's not necessarily your social security number either. It's about where you be at 2 o'clock, what you be doing at 7 o'clock, what you like to buy when you go to the mall, that type of information about you, your statistics that you feed through your phone all day long. That's why they making these phones more and more sophisticated, because all you doing is feeding information through them joints every day, whether it be through your location, whether it be for the things that you choose to search for. You know what I mean?
What you think these phones they giving them out for?
Right. You know
You
what I'm
think
saying?
every time they turn around, yo, come down to the joint, give you 4 more phones. You know what I'm saying? We updated.
wish somebody gave me
they
my
really,
phone.
they
I'm
really
like-
be saying we updated the GPS joint to really file you bad this time. You can't take it off. You gonna data cache everything you do.
Y'all need to let me know where those free phones is, because I'm still paying for that one. I've been paying for that phone for 3 years.
You gotta keep flipping them every year, man. Flip them to a new plan every year.
As soon as it gets to 0, it's a new phone. And now another 1,500.
And that one don't work no more for some reason.
Yo, dead serious. Like,
That's what happens, and that's not coincidence that everyone experiences that. Like, there are actual, like, the updates that they send out to the phones are designed purposely to work in a way where it doesn't work with older models.
I'm getting a beeper.
You could good luck with that one too.
I'm getting a beeper. Yo, and this is dead ass. This is off topic, and I'm sorry. But damn it, this morning I saw somebody use a payphone. Like, physically went. First he went to the payphone. I thought he was trying to rob me. I was in the parking lot of a gas station park. 6 o'clock in the morning. And this dude coming behind me. I'm like, what? He gets on the payphone. He starts messing around with the pay. I said, he ain't using no damn payphone. He went in the store. He must have got change and came back out. He used the payphone.
Yeah, phone numbers memorized.
Dude, listen, man. He just picked it up and dialed. He had the number in his head. He wasn't human.
Old school.
I didn't. Yeah, that's crazy, because
I'm sorry.
a lot of things aren't. It's changing, and they gotta change in a way where there's control. You know what I mean? You can't monitor that. You know how hard it is to outside of the cameras. That's why the cameras is going up everywhere. But you know how difficult you can't just monitor a call from a payphone if you don't got a camera set up on that corner. You don't know who made that call.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
That's why they got rid of them joints.
They gotta
Say,
get
you know
rid
what
of
we
that.
gonna do? Put them right there.
yeah, like, you're gonna put that joint right in your pocket now.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
that's what I want you to call me from. Don't call
I've
me from
listened.
no miscellaneous box on a corner of 18th and. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's not it. That's
Yo.
not it.
I've been on the phone for like 40 minutes now. and not even was on my phone.
Facts. Just because of the live. You know what I mean? Hey, too, you found that Sapphire joint?
I'll be back. Hey.
Yeah, Sapphire, yeah, boop bop off that
Shout out
joint.
to Chuck Belafonte, my man Dave Polo, you know what it is.
That's
Jose McClain, what up? Ed Mack, what up? Thanks for tuning in. It's a Diamond and Steel show, Sunwun. You already know. Mr. Everything.
Been basic. Everything's amazing. See me flip another 100. All I need is concentration. When my thoughts demonstrated, competition frustrated. Got them boxed in corner, froze without a warning. Couple body shots hit them. Y'all ain't moving till I'm finished. Celebrating, blowing strong, then I'm back up on my business. Check me. I'm something you never witnessed until now. I've been the shit back then. I'm the shit now. We blow bud on the roof of the club. Backstage got crowded, so we took it above. I'm the proof that weed ain't a gateway drug. I'm the proof all rappers don't sound the same. I'm the proof that God don't fuck with the devil. I'm the proof religion ain't got a thing to do with heaven. I'm the proof real niggas stand tall, never fall, never coming off soft. Don't wear dresses at all, it's king talk. Every time we speak jewels, every word's like a ruby. My sling's like gold, keep a diamond in my speech. Sapphire dialogue, amethyst in my language. Alphabet, silver, having platinum conversation. Every time we speak jewels, every word's like a ruby. My sling's like gold, keep a diamond in my speech. Sapphire dialogue, amethyst in my language. Alphabet, silver, having platinum conversation.
I am the phoenix, giant lion on Venus, your highness, the highest speech, but I speak from beneath us, the Ivy League, a thesis, writing, trying to reach him, teach him, trying to beat him. Giants, I am the reason my soul is cold as a polar bear. Through the eyes of a demon, anemic, hole in the meat cleaver, show me the beat, feed me, I'm hungry, who eating, cowards promoting, kilos and misleading. You should pledge allegiance to my penis, I mean it. I am Jesus, Moses, Peter, and Satan, hatred. I put your face in the semen and break it. I'm waiting to eat like an ape with an apron, waiting, patiently pacing myself, waiting my turn crazy. I burn inside fire, lives Leviathan, sheep and lion skin. You weak liars in the beneath. I'm dying to squeeze, so please try us and see. I am a king.
Every time we speak jewels, every word's like a ruby. My sling's like gold, keep a diamond in my speech. Sapphire dialogue, amethyst in my language. Alphabet, silver, having platinum conversation. Every time we speak jewels, every word's like a ruby. My sling's like gold, keep a diamond in my speech. Sapphire dialogue, amethyst in my language. Alphabet, silver, having platinum conversation.
I don't know if they talking about us, man. Let's see, man. Fuck them niggas, man. That's how I say.
They gotta be talking about us, man.
See,
Keep looking over.
Someone with us. Yo, I heard them niggas trying to keep us out the front seat. Hit Esquire for the dope beat. You know the rules, little nigga, ain't no sleep. Give me 2 weeks, it's 36 G's. Gave it back, I needed double for the palm trees. Close to 80 bands jammed in my denim jeans. I spent 3,500 on her earrings. She had me going, I'm blowing up off her pheromones. The spaceship outside is ready to take us home. I got a pile of sky roof with the elevator. I want a school of educators, something like a tutor. I mixed it down to Pro Tools up on new computers. I keep a bundle of marijuana, yo, where my shooters. I get respect up on every corner, cause I'm the truth. We stuff the quarters with purple waters to get it started. Watch us get retarded, still disrespecting your favorite artists. You fucking with us, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, I said I'm fucking with you. She fucking with us, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, okay, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, alright, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, we fucking with you. She fucking with us, I said I'm fucking with you. Hit the booth, black and gold in the small room. Give me any beat, I'ma blow through them. Take a break, burn a Blake, watch a dope movie. Keep the 50 cal so close to me. King talk, nigga, what you got for me? She only fucking with me cause I'm popular. See them bitches coming with binoculars. So I leave them where I meet them, they ain't fucking with us. they catching the bus. I'm stunting in the wheel and I'm backing it up. Inhaling all this strong weed, I'm coughing it up. I put your boss on money, you should check for us. All you 10-man niggas feel my rain and rust. I pulled 100 out the bank just to fold it up. Threw them 30s on the truck just to show you what's up. She got king talk daddy cause she fucking with us. She fucking with us. You fucking with us. We fucking with you. She fucking with us. I said I'm fucking with you. She fucking with us. We fucking with you. She fucking with us. Okay, we fucking with you. She fucking with us. We fucking with you. She fucking with us. Alright, we fucking with you. She fucking with us. We fucking with you. She fucking with us. I said I'm fucking with you. What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright. Peace. Part up. You about to go back on? What's up? Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
I don't know what that was, but I was lit with it. I'm with it. Yo, what's good? We back on the Diamond and Steel podcast. Everybody's in the building. We in here cooling, man. Shout out Rasul. My man Ace McLeod. My man Ricky Knight's in the building, a.k.a. Etc. Raw, to the ones who really know. Divine Universal, he hold me down all the time. Y'all probably familiar with that guy already. And we just in here building, man. We just giving our perspective on things, man. Letting you know that it's crazy when you think you're the only one who think the way you think, or it's just a small portion or a small handful of people who think the way you think, and then you do something like this and people start reaching out to you and people start, letting you know like, yo, I was on that same shit, cuz, or you gotta change the temperature around you sometimes yourself. You can't talk about the problem without at least attempting to be a part of the solution. And that's what this is about, I try to bring things to light so people could, if you understand why things are the way that they are, then it may be put you in a place where you can begin to see how you can begin to fix it.
You start questioning things. If you don't start questioning things and looking at things from a different angle, at least the very bare minimum, you know what I mean? Don't accept things on face value, the way they given to you.
We've been conditioned to do so. Since we was babies, we've been conditioned to do that. Yo, let me get that joint. Is that? All right, I'm good. That's all good. That's my man Ace McLeod's in the building and shit, man. You know what I mean? So definitely, man, we over here right now we doing it live. You know what I mean, on Glockaware Radio. I got a shout out. You know what I mean?
Glockaware Radio, shout out to
2K. They always power us up when we want to rock out. You know what I mean? We gonna definitely rock out. We gonna throw some tunes on and move out on this joint. And it's love, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with the Diamond and Steel podcast officially.
Thanks for having me, Sunwun.
Thank you, brother.
This was nice. I like this, man. I missed this.
We're gonna do it next week, but the guy came at me about the fact of the week. Actually, I do got one. I got one. I'm gonna blow y'all up with this one. I got one. Hold on. The guy reminded me we do the fact of the week or just the jewel. I know, man. It's dope though. You know what I'm saying? I got all kinds of joints though. Like, huh? Yeah. Officially, man. Like we was cause I be checking for him all the time too. You know what I mean? Oh shit. And go research these joints too. Hold up, too. Don't blast off yet. Go research these joints. All right, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one. All right, I think I gave. All right, the word uncopyrightable, right? You hear me?
Right.
The word uncopyrightable is the only 15-letter word that can be spelled without repeating the letter. The only one out of all the words in the English language.
That's
something
the only word.
The only 15-letter word that doesn't repeat the same letter twice throughout 15 entire letters. Uncopyrightable. Uncopyrightable. Think about that one.
Copyright.
This is recorded, so you can go back, revisit it. Yo, we live and direct on the Diamond and Steel podcast, man. Thank y'all once again, man.
Which is uncopyrightable. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
definitely uncopyrightable. You know,
All
they
rights
too, man.
reserved.
You know what I mean? Just let them Jones from that folder fly out, man, and we, you know what I mean? We'll rock out on the time with that.
All right.
Hit Esquire for the dopey. You know the rules, little nigga, ain't no sleep. Give me 2 weeks, it's 36 G's. Gave it back, I need a double for the palm trees. Close to 80 bands jammed in my denim jeans. I spent 3,500 on her earrings. She had me going, I'm blowing up off her pheromones. The spaceship outside is ready to take us home. I got a pile of sky roof with the elevator. I want a school of educators, something like a tutor. I mixed it down to Pro Tools up on new computers. I keep a bundle of marijuana, yo, where my shooters. I get respect up on every corner, cause I'm